Everything looks stable until you realize it's balanced on debt. And debt does not forgive.
This system was never designed to be fair. It was designed to survive, Heatlunk, at your expense.
The system will survive. The only question is, will you?
Empires rise on credit. Empires fall on debt. History does not change, only the names do.
Debt is not money. It is control.
The global debt clock continues to tick upwards, but the story of borrowing and lending didn't begin in the modern era. It began thousands of years ago.
We are witnessing a crisis of unimaginable scale, an explosion of debt that threatens to chain us all.
The evolution of global finance is a story of constant change. While the numbers on the live counter continue to climb, the origins of this system trace back centuries to the moment lending truly became an industry.
While the debt crisis escalates globally, we must confront an uncomfortable truth. Wars are bought, paid for in... The numbers are catastrophic. The global debt crisis is accelerating, threatening to wipe out savings worldwide.
The system is clear. Today's profits are borrowed against tomorrow's stability. And the bill is coming due faster than we think.
The situation is escalating rapidly. The live global debt counter is hitting unprecedented highs as...
When debt threatened society, it was erased. Even empires drowned in debt.
Wars are financed, not paid.
We are now entering the final stages of a complete financial collapse. Hyperinflation is rampant, and
The current system is showing strain. To understand where we're headed, we must look back to the pivotal moment when a new financial order was born.
The world ran on one currency.
Money lost its anchor, severing the historic link to gold and unleashing an era of unbacked currency. Trillions in digital money printing has caused interest rates to plummet, and the global debt is now expanding infinitely.
The warnings were ignored, and now the system has finally snapped. The global debt crisis is unfolding live, and the markets are in free fall.
It was debt on top of debt, an explosion of leverage that threatened to shatter the entire global financial system.
Risk was private. Losses were public.
The global debt counter continues to rise, but who pays the price? The public pays. Debt always finds a victim.
Spending tomorrow's money today.
Global debt has reached catastrophic levels, and the burden is increasingly falling on everyday households struggling to make ends meet.
Education is often called the key to the future, yet the price tag is burdening an entire generation with insurmountable debt.
Corporate profits are soaring, fueled by unprecedented levels of cheap debt used for stock buybacks. But is this growth sustainable?
We are witnessing a historic surge in global interest rates. The era of cheap money is officially over, and the consequences are immediate.
Every system has limits.
The silent tax of inflation is eroding savings globally. It's the mechanism through which massive national debts are quietly being inflated away. As global debt counters rise, the stark reality is this: your money buys less each year. Savings are vanishing.
Printing is easier than paying.
Breaking news now. The global debt crisis is accelerating. As you can see, these debts simply can't be paid, and the markets are reacting violently. The global debt crisis demands immediate renegotiation.
These terms are unacceptable. We need significant haircuts on the principal.
We cannot agree to that.
This reliance on foreign currency borrowing creates an unstable foundation for emerging markets, and the risk is escalating fast. The global debt counter is escalating beyond control, and it's our children who will ultimately pay the price for today's spending.
Instead of dealing with the mounting global debt now, politicians are once again kicking the can down the road, buying time they haven't earned.
You might not feel the impact of the rising global debt yet, but this invisible burden affects us all, and eventually, you will.
The numbers don't lie. History shows us that this escalating global debt inevitably leads to collapse.
Global debt is managed here, by us. Make no mistake, only a few hands control the system.
As the global debt counter rises, central banks inject massive liquidity. When trouble hits, money appears, inflating asset prices globally.
This surge in global debt is directly inflating asset bubbles in real estate and the stock market, creating a fragile situation.
This stark divide proves one thing. The current system ensures that debt rewards the few, leaving billions behind.
Look closely at these rising numbers. While the markets surge, the foundations supporting them are beginning to crack. This is growth without substance.
It might seem solid, but this entire economic system runs on trust. And right now, that trust is fluctuating wildly. The stability we've known is an illusion. The global financial system is now visibly cracking under the strain of unsustainable debt levels. The global debt counter is flashing red, echoing the collapses of the past. History has shown us this before.
The history of global debt is not linear. It moves in cycles, mirroring the rise and fall of nations themselves.
The escalating global debt crisis is flashing red, yet leaders choose to look the other way.
These are merely temporary headwinds, nothing to be concerned about.
Global debt is accelerating exponentially, reaching unprecedented levels. The crisis is imminent.
We are seeing unprecedented drops this morning as the sheer weight of global debt finally hits the markets. Gravity, it seems, has returned. What began as a minor fluctuation is rapidly becoming a full-blown catastrophe. We are witnessing a total system collapse.
Default fears are sparking a chain reaction across markets. If this continues unchecked, then it spreads to the real economy.
Authorities are stepping in. We are announcing emergency fiscal policies to contain the crisis and ensure liquidity.
As the global debt explodes, the cost is inevitably passed down, shifting the burden directly onto the public.
Debt is a choice.
We've been here before. History shows that financial crises often follow a similar pattern. As global debt surges past alarming levels, the path forward presents difficult choices. We are truly at a crossroads.
The reality of this debt is stark. Repayment demands sacrifice, and the path ahead is steep.
As global debt mounts, we face a silent erosion where the value of our money slips away, quietly and dangerously.
We are witnessing a catastrophic failure. The default has shattered trust, and global markets are reacting to the news.
When the debt becomes unsustainable, the easiest solution is always the same. Turn on the printing presses and inflate the money supply.
The rising global debt means ordinary people are paying the price.
I don't see how we can afford this. We have to cut back somewhere.
As the global debt crisis escalates, the markets show a remarkable recovery for the privileged few, shielded from the turmoil.
The volatility is concerning, but when we see clearly, we realize that understanding the debt crisis is the only true protection.
The global debt crisis creates volatility, but you are not powerless. Take control of your financial future and protect yourself. Don't let the volatility confuse you. When you have the right knowledge, you can cut through the noise and see the opportunities clearly. As the data clearly shows, these cycles repeat. We must recognize these patterns before it's too late.
While financial markets show volatility, true resilience is found in tangible assets. Some assets, quite simply, endure the storm. We are taking decisive action to limit our exposure, bringing the risk meters down to a manageable level. The escalating global debt crisis demands immediate attention. But as we navigate this volatility, we must remember that discipline preserves capital.
Staying liquid is paramount in these volatile times. Without open access routes for capital, the system faces collapse.
Look at these numbers. The current framework cannot hold. We are seeing these rigid systems begin to break under the weight of unprecedented global debt.
The rising tide of global debt threatens to overwhelm us. But true security comes not from ignorance, but from understanding the danger. Awareness is protection. While global debt levels are alarming, diligent preparation reduces the shock. We have completed the checklists and secured our positions.
Breaking news tonight, the global debt counter has hit a critical new high. Experts warn the system is now entirely dependent on this unsustainable trajectory.
The global debt counter continues to rise, fueled by reckless behavior and the implicit guarantee of a safety net for those who take the biggest risks. While the markets appear stable on the surface, experts warn this calm is temporary. The signs appear first right here. Yield curves are inverting and stress indicators are flashing red across the board.
Breaking news, the global debt crisis has triggered a market collapse. Emergency measures are underway but failing to stop the sell-off. Everyone is reacting at once. The global debt crisis has reached its breaking point. As the markets collapse, we are left to contemplate the silence after the fall.
As the old systems dissolve, we enter a phase of critical rebuilding. It is during these moments that something new always emerges. The lines on these graphs show trillions in debt, a burden that translates directly to hardship for millions.
As global debt escalates, we must ask who truly survives. The answer is clear. The system protects itself.
This escalating crisis isn't just about the numbers you see here. It's about the long shadow cast over the generations to come. As the cycle restarts, we anticipate fresh optimism in the markets. Comfort has returned to the markets, and with it, the urgent warnings begin to fade from memory once again.
These numbers might seem abstract, but the reality they represent is very concrete. The scales are balancing our choices now. We must understand that every borrowing has a cost. The data is clear. We are at a turning point. Two paths diverge based on one critical factor: awareness. Awareness changes outcomes. You are not powerless. The numbers are alarming, but obscure data benefits no one. As understanding spreads to the networks,
the immediate market noise often obscures the bigger picture. To understand the true nature of global debt, we must look further out.
we look at these numbers and think this is a modern crisis. But when you look closely, you realize nothing here is new. The live global debt counter is approaching 0 hour. We have reached the final warning stage. The window for avoiding total economic collapse is closing.
Decide where you stand.
Debt is a claim on your life.
Who truly decides the fate of nations? It's the ones controlling these levers. Because ultimately, debt is power.
Every empire faces this moment.
Behind the curtain of these numbers, the truth is clear. The system was never neutral.
The numbers don't lie, the system is failing. But awareness is a weapon, and we still have a choice to make before it's too late. The global debt crisis is accelerating. These numbers represent a burden on future generations, and the outcome remains deeply uncertain.
For too long, we have lived an illusion. The numbers are dissolving, the promises collapsing. Understand this, debt is not free.
These numbers are not just data. They are a mirror reflecting history's inescapable rhythm. This has happened before, and we must understand why.
Debt builds. Systems deny. History resets.